Hello again and welcome back to the Book of Brett and another episode of Manic Movie Reviews. Before we get into this episode, I want to go over just a couple things. First of all, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, do consider hitting that subscribe button down below. It really does help the channel grow, and I really do appreciate every single one of my subscribers. Second of all, if you have not heard already, Mike the Finder and I are doing a podcast called From the Deep. You can find on YouTube and on Spotify and pretty much anywhere you find podcasts, where we do movie reviews, but we do them together. But today we are reviewing 2018's Hellfest. This is a movie starring Amy Forsyth, who I know from season 2 of Channel Zero. If you've never watched Channel Zero, it's a horror mini-series or anthology series where they have a different creepypasta that they go through. And I think there were only like 3 seasons of the show. I don't think it was widely viewed, which is really sad because it was actually a really good show that I really liked and I actually own all 3 seasons of. But in Hellfest, Amy Forsyth plays Natalie, who with a group of friends goes to a hell-themed or horror-themed amusement park, and they proceed to get stalked by this killer who every year is going to different horror theme parks and murdering people. This didn't offer a whole lot in the way of character development. It doesn't offer a whole lot in terms of script, like dialogue and stuff like that. The dialogue for the entire beginning of the movie is very awkward. It made me feel awkward just watching these people interact or watching these actors interact with one another on screen. It's not that the actors do a bad job. I think they're doing the best with what they're given. Spoiler alert. There are probably going to be some spoilers in this episode simply because I don't feel like I'm really spoiling a lot, because this is the kind of movie you go and watch for the gore, for the violence, and for the scares. And where it's kind of lackluster is in the scares. The movie's done on the backdrop of a horror amusement park, and I think that that really lends itself to getting away with a lot of jump scares, because if you go to like Knott's Berry Farm during Halloween, if you go to some of the more intense haunted houses during Halloween, it's a lot of jump scares, which makes sense in the aspect of a horror theme park or haunted house. For movies, at least for me anyway, there's just something about jump scares. When they're overused, it just feels cheap to me. And I feel like that's a lot of what this movie is. It's a lot of jump scares. There's not really any horror from the killer himself. Although if you do like slasher films, you are going to like this killer and you are going to probably like this movie. I did like this movie, but just in the concept of a good movie, it's not like way up there. I know this has like terrible ratings on Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't think it deserves terrible ratings, but I saw on IMDb, I think it was like a 5.3 out of 10. And if I were to rate this movie, I think that's probably about around where it would be. I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10, just because I did enjoy the ride. I did enjoy what the movie had to offer, but it wasn't anything that, you know, I'm gonna get super excited about, like Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat is a Halloween movie that I love and that I can really get excited about. This was more, if I want to watch a slasher film and I want Halloween to be the theme and I've gotten sick of the Halloween series, this would be one that I think would be good to get you in the Halloween mood. As I said, the actors, I really feel like did the best they could with the script that they were given. However, with that said, I think Natalie has the most annoying group of friends I've seen in a horror movie in a long time. As I said, there's not a lot of character development. There is some between Gavin and Natalie, and I feel like that whole thing blossoms pretty naturally, actually. But everything surrounding the cast of characters that aren't Natalie and Gavin is pretty awkward, and it was clear that character development was not something that they were trying to go for in this movie. And at first, that really kind of rubbed me the wrong way. At first, it was kind of annoying that there wasn't a lot of character development, but then I had to remind myself that this is a slasher movie. You're not watching something like this or something like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween. You're not watching these movies for character development, although the ones I just mentioned do actually have decent character development in them. But that's not why you're watching it. Sleepaway Camp is another great example. There's character development, but you're watching it for the gore. You're watching it for the kills. And that's really what you're watching. You're watching Hellfest for two reasons. You want to see a Halloween movie, and you want to see a slasher movie. If you go into Hellfest with high expectations, I think you're going to be disappointed. Although I still think you could find things to like about this movie. But if you're going into it because you just want to watch something fun and you want to watch something Halloween themed, I think Hellfest will satisfy people that are just looking for a fun ride that doesn't rely too much on classic theatrical elements. But that is going to do it for today's episode. As I said at the beginning, if you have not already, consider hitting the subscribe button. Leave a thumbs up, leave a thumbs down if you want to. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And any comments down below are always appreciated. And if you have any movie suggestions you would like me to cover, I would be more than willing to go over any movie suggestions that I get, regardless of how good or bad they may be. But with all of that said, I will see you guys next time.